Hi, this is Paul the Pipe Guy live from Rochester, New York. And I wanted to do a video on how to smoke a pipe. This video is not how to properly smoke a pipe because there's different ways that different people smoke their pipes. This video is more for the beginner to show them how I smoke a pipe. And I've watched lots of videos when I first started smoking a little over 2 years ago. So my learning curve, has gone way up. But, there's those guys that have been smoking 40, 50 years. If you're happy with the way that you smoke your pipe, which I'm sure you are, then keep going at it. But so this is more for the beginner. Now there's 4 components that you're going to need in smoking a pipe, possibly 5. The first one is the pipe itself, and this is a Peterson of Dublin, and it is a bowl number 606 from their Dublin edition, and it's sandblasted. It has very, very thick walls on it. Okay, so when you first get your pipe, and for anyone that wants to become a pipe smoker or try it out, start with a $10, $15, $20 corncob pipe. I started with a $50 Dr. Grabau. If that's what you want to do, if you like the briar, at least get something like a Dr. Grabau or a Mr. Bragg pipe. But we won't get into that. Let's actually get into the technique of smoking. So that's the first component you're going to need is your pipe. An ashtray or something to let your pipe rest in when it starts to get a little overheated. But if you smoke it right, it really shouldn't overheat that much. The second thing that you're going to need is pipe tobacco. And I recommend for beginners, the guy just starting to smoke a pipe, I would recommend a light aromatic. And what I do with my tins, once I open them, this is called a tin, and obviously it contains pipe tobacco. And what I do is after I open them, even though they have almost like this mason jar seal around the inside, it's not as good as a mason jar, in my opinion. So that is a tin, and I would recommend something like either Scotty's Butternut Burley, which is a very light aromatic. It won't give you tongue bite. Officers Club, which is by East India Trading Company, is a wonderful blend. It's rum-based blend, I believe, with vanilla. Yeah, rum and vanilla. And it's not going to give you tongue bite. Tongue bite is, if you're smoking a very strong blend, it basically makes your tongue sore. So that's the third component. The fourth one, the fourth component, fourth component would be a pipe tool. And I chose this. You can get these for $10, $15 anywhere online. They have a poker. It's got a little scraper here, and your tamper, which is a must. You have to have one of these, okay? And then the fifth and final component that you're going to need is fire. And I like the Bic lighters. They have a very soft flame. It's not going to be harsh on your pipe. Do not, I repeat, do not use one of those butane torch lighters. It'll mess up the briar on your pipe. They burn way too hot. You want something with a soft flame, butane lighter. So let's start by loading the bowl. Okay, so you got your new pipe tobacco in. Oh yeah. All right. And so what we do first is we'll take a pinch of this and we will load it into the bowl. Now, do not press your finger down into the bowl and press it like so. Put a pinch in, take your little tamper tool, gently, almost just a little more than the weight of the tamper, tamp that down. Then grab your second pinch, load that baby up, and here I am. I'm not pressing it down with my finger, I'm just kind of gently poking it in. All right. Then we take our tamper. Now we go a little firmer on the tamp. We're still not pressing down extremely hard, but we're going a little firmer, and I like to go in a circular motion around the bowl. All right. Then we take our third pinch, and you can repeat this process how many times you want to fill your bowl. Now, breaking in your pipe is a total different video. I'm not going to get into. I break my pipes in. I just fill the bowl up to the top, tamp it down, and smoke it. So then we check our draw. This is good. You want it to be the consistency when you sip on it of sipping a milkshake through a straw. If you tamp it down too hard, then you have to take your pipe tool, dig it all back up, and then try to tamp it back down. This one we have tamped down wonderfully. So I'm going to cover my tobacco back up here. I don't want it to dry out. And like I said, with your tins of tobacco, make sure the lid is firmly sealed, and then just put it back in the bag and try to get as much air out of it as you can. So now we have our pipe loaded, we have fire, we have our tamper tool. Let's go for what they call the char light. And what the char light does is it basically chars the top of the tobacco, because most tobaccos are very moist. So a lot of times you won't get your pipe to fully light on the first try, sometimes not even on the second try, sometimes not on the third. So let's fire up this wonderful Officer's Blend. And what we're doing, we're going in a circular motion with the flame, and we're sipping on it, just like you're sipping a little glass of wine. See? Sip, 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 sip. Now that's our char light. So we've charred the top of the tobacco, and then what I do is I go in very, very lightly, retamp that back down, because what will happen is the tobacco many times, because of the moisture, will rise up, and then there's way too much oxygen in there. It's not tight enough to really burn. So now we're going to go for the actual light. And remember, sip, sip, sip. Circular motion with a flame, very small sips. And there we go. She's lit up pretty good. So you don't want to keep puffing on the pipe like a freight train, especially a brand new pipe, because you haven't built up cake. Cake is carbon buildup that builds up inside of the bowl after smoking it a bunch of times. It slowly builds up. That actually insulates the bowl, wicks away moisture from the tobacco so you don't get, a wet bowl. You can actually get condensation build up in the bottom and you'll get a gurgling sound. So I'm going to put a little more fire to it. So now we have an ember in there that's going pretty good. Never keep puffing on your pipe so hard that it overheats. If you touch it to the side of your face and it feels really, really hot, you need to set it down in something like this or an ashtray and just let it rest. Just the zen of smoking a pipe is just so relaxing. It does put you in a bit of a meditative state. And it tastes good and smells good. That's why for new pipe smokers, I would recommend something like Officers Club or Scotty's Butternut Burley, Lane Bulk Hazelnut. A very mild aromatic, something that's going to give you a good room note, which means the smell it puts off. Something that's not going to burn your tongue. And something you'll enjoy. Now, I'm kind of smoking this a little faster than I normally would, just because I want to get to the next stage of the way I smoke my pipe. And as far as places to order your tobacco, you can go to your local tobacconist, but I actually like pipesandcigars.com. They have a great variety. The shipping rates are reasonable. Wow, something must be going on out there. I've heard like 10 cars drive by at like 100 miles an hour. Now we're at the point of the smoke where, almost to the point of the smoke, where some seasoned pipe smokers may differ or disagree with the way I smoke my pipe, but this is the way that I do it. You can get a lot of enjoyment from pipe smoking. Wow, do you hear all those cars? All right, so now we're at the point where we have a lot of white ash buildup. Now I could keep smoking this bowl down still to about halfway. But to save time, imagine this bowl was smoked down to halfway. Now, some other people that I've seen on pipe, how to smoke pipe videos, they'll take that white ash and still tamp it down. I don't like to do that, and the reason is it kind of dilutes the tobacco. So what I do is I take my little poker, and what I'll do, I'll try to get this in the video, I lightly, ever so lightly, scrape that white ash, and I loosen it up. Don't get down into the tobacco, just the white ash part. And then what I do is I have my handy dandy ashtray, I lightly tap out the white ash, and then I don't really mix it. I'll kind of aerate it and kind of turn the top over. I probably did this a little prematurely. I could have smoked this bowl down a lot more, but to save time. So I'm kind of aerating it, getting it so that air can get in there. Never go directly over the draft hole. The draft hole is right down where the smoke goes into the pipe. If you do that, you're going to plug your pipe up or end up with a mouthful of ash. So now that I've kind of loosened up the top just a little bit, I ever so lightly tamp it down again, and I blow out just a little bit. Don't blow out hard or you're going to have tobacco and ash. Just a tiny little baby's breath. Then basically what we do is relight and you're good to go till you got a whole bunch of white ash back on top. And then afterwards, when you've reached to the bottom of the bowl and keep repeating the process, and the tobacco is mostly burned out, you take your pick or scraper, get all the loose junk out of there, tamp it all out. Never take a pipe apart and clean it when it's hot. Wait till it totally cools down, then clean it out. If you do that before and you go to twist that stem off, you could crack the shank. So anyways, I'm Paul the Pipe Guy. This is how I smoke a pipe. There's many ways to do it, but that's just the way I do it, and it's worked out very well for me. Hope this video has helped you new pipe smokers. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. Any of you seasoned pipe smokers that have any comments on how I smoke a pipe, feel free to leave your comments also. I'm Paul the Pipe Guy, live from Rochester, New York. If you like this video, give me the thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I come out with videos, pipe reviews, tobacco reviews on multiple times per week. And we're up to 353 subscribers, 354. I want to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. Anyways, hope you guys like this video. I know it was a little long, but there's a lot of information packed into it that I hope will help you new pipe smokers. So I'm Paul the Pipe Guy, live from Rochester, New York. Happy pipe smoking, pipe smokers. Over and out. And oh, by the way, for you new pipe smokers, if you want a list of blends, just say, hey, Paul, give me a list of blends that I should get, that I can choose from, and look up on pipesandcigars.com, and I'll give you a list of blends that are good to start with. So, over and out.